Hey everyone, it's Xant. So, the Golden Ace patch just dropped in, so I'm going to take a look at all the new stuff that got added, like I normally do. First thing we're going to do is take a look at the welfare, because I'm actually really curious as to what they decide to do with this machine. So for the head, okay, Vulcan straightforward, commander and high mobility tags, cool. Flat melee damage reduction. Not terribly useful. Ooh, an EX Beam Saber skill. D and C minus. Okay. Not amazing, not bad. Midline. It is a free machine, so... Okay. Shot spread reduce. And it has ace exclusive as well. Enemy shooting power. Okay, cool. Royal Heart. B plus D. Ooh. Then reduces beam resist. Okay. EX skill power boost by 8%. And what about the clay? Okay. So, looking at the parts, Hyaku Shiki doesn't seem to actually be like a terrible machine. I just don't really know how to feel about a lot of the selections here on skills. The Royal Heart here, this EX skill looks pretty nice though, with B plus and D at level 1. And it has growth of 3? Really? Oh no, what was I looking at? Oh right, no, it's the Beam Saber. Excuse me while I'm stupid. Yeah, okay, so this has a growth of 3. So that's actually really, really good. I talked about this in a video I did a while ago about, I call it potential, stat potential pretty much. And you determine it by what the growth icons show. When it has 2, it means it's okay. 1 means it's not that great. And 3 is, like, obviously, it's the best you're gonna get, at least from what we have available now. So, that's good. That's really good growth to see on a free part. I don't think I'd invest in this machine, though. It looks cool, but I'd say get one of each part just for the color schema. If you want to complete it, go ahead. Nobody's going to stop you. But I don't think the traits really make it stand out. I do like the Beam Saber, though. I do like that skill. And what else does the shop have? Purple chips. Oh, hey! We got emblems, too? Oh, now see, that's cool. That's real cool. Alright. That's really neat. I like this. I like how they're doing that. Because they added like the color schema for the red Astray frame when we had that. And they had the, well now they have emblems. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Okay. So now, let's look at the other two gacha machines. Deathscythe. Cool, we start with you. Yep, typical. What's the max stats on this? Okay. Not bad numbers. Okay, chest. The machine cannon. Yeah, there you are. Oh, 0-second start time. A pierce. That looks pretty good. Good armor. Okay, not bad, not bad. And it also has a growth of 3 on it, so that's good. Okay, the arms are a little low on the melee attack side. Mid-shot attack. Okay, so I'm gonna guess the Beam Scythe is an axe type because this boosts axe category, and I'm assuming it's meant to be used together. Mid shot attack raised by 20, so I'm going to assume its ranged weapons are also mid. Okay. Another axe category weapon. EX skill CD reduced by 20%. Okay. Okay, cool. There's the Hyper Jammer. What do you do? Invisible? Raise your shot attack. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty much the Mirage Colloid, just under a different name. That's cool. Okay. That sucks, though. I hate how all the really cool skills are being put on the backpacks. Right? You have, like, the new Gundam backpack, which is the funnels. You have the, the Cubely backpack as well, which is also funnels. You have the really good backpacks from like Exia, Zeta, right? Things like that. They need to start spreading out some of these skills. Because if it wasn't a backpack, I'd actually probably try to get it. Because like I said, when Blitz came out, I really like what Mirage Colloid does. And if it had the stats of a 4-star part, I'd totally get it. And now that we have one. Problem is, though, I got the Zeta backpack, right? And I also have the new Gundam. I don't really have a use for this on my shooting machine. So, good part, just please start spreading this out. Okay. Deadly Circle. Brutally Swipe, Beam Resist Reduction, A Pierce Deep Power. Okay, that's pretty cool. Low cooldown, too. Huh. Alright. Alright, not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. There's good melee attack. Oh, you know what? No, I did check the arm's melee strength, right? And it was kind of low. And there's the Throne Buster Shield, yep. AD. Alright, and it's a beam type. Okay. Stats, yeah. That's a really neat spread of stats. I don't know if I like it or not. Maybe? Actually, I'm curious. Let me check my Barbados real quick. Because maybe I'm just remembering the numbers incorrectly. Yeah, no. 1979 shot. Okay. Oh, wait, no, capsule. Okay. So, overall, the Deathscythe, looking at it from a macro perspective, the head is just so commonplace, has low growth, it doesn't even matter. Frog in my throat. The Deathscythe also doesn't... Like, the chest, it's not bad. The machine cannon looks really cool and it has a high growth. But you know what? I'm going to say that this is probably going to be a good part. In my last breakdown of these, when I was looking at the... what machine was it? Yeah, it was the Zeta. I was talking about the grenade launcher that it had on its arms, and I was talking about how it was like a stagger or an interrupt. I wasn't really sure how good that would be. From what I've come to understand from people that have been using it, it's apparently really good. So I need to actually take a look at it myself, but based on that, I'm going to say that this is probably going to also be a pretty good skill. A Pierce, D Power, 11 shots in it, so... The chest might be something you want to get. The arms on this have a rather low melee attack overall, and it does require an axe category weapon. And in case you're unaware, the only natural 4-star axe weapon that we have, to my knowledge, is the one that was just added with Deathscythe. So, you don't really have a lot of options for high tier axes yet. Probably will later though. Okay. So, I'd say the arms, not really that important on the Deathscythe. The legs, again, requires axe category. I guess if you're never using melee, it's a trade-off you could take. But even then, I don't think the benefits you get from these parts are actually worth it, right? maybe. If you're a mid shooter, I guess. Hyper Jammer, though, to me, that's kind of where it's at. It's a cool skill. I wish I was able to test with 2 human-controlled characters so I could actually see what the harder to target for a set period of time actually does as, like, a tangible thing. But what can you do, right? Yeah. The beam scythe looks really cool, has a cool skill on it. So, I'd say out of this, the chest, the backpack, and the scythe are, like, pretty baller. The shield as well is actually not too bad if you lack a good defensive option. Because of its EX skill as well, pretty convenient. So, that's kind of my take on it. The problem is, it just has, the arms have low melee stats on it, and the head doesn't have amazing shooting stats on it either. So if you're looking to this as a raw, like, high stat part machine, it doesn't look like it's going to be your answer. So let's look at the Shenlong. Okay. Same thing. Doesn't have amazing shot attack. Good armor though. Close combat for forest. Okay. Chest. Relies on technique. Strong melee boosted 30%. Okay. That's actually a significant boost. And again, the strong melee is the last hit, or if you're an infighter, you can actually just trigger it right out of dash. So if you're using an infighter, this might be a useful chest for you if you don't have a good one yet. Dragon Fang, that's going to be the flamethrower. Yeah. Shot defense down, DB. So it does some damage, but it's definitely, I think, primarily going to be used for that debuff, because that's a nice looking debuff. Now the arms also, 1181. I'm curious. Barbados. What's your max arm values? Okay. So that's where the trade-off comes in, because you can see here, right, like this is a crazy melee attack compared to 1100, it's almost 3 times, but the trade-off is you don't get as much armor or defense. So it's trading a min-max stat machine for a more balanced one out, which, again, like I said with the Deathscythe, it's not a bad choice. But if you're looking for just raw, highest possible numbers you can for something, like my shot attack is 9.2k right now. I could still get better parts, but it's because I'm kind of trying to pick up the things that have the highest shot attack, right? So even though you could round out your machine, you're probably going to want to start looking at maybe investing into something specific, whether it's melee, whether it's shot, whether it's EX skill abuse, whatever. So I'm not really sure if the arms are really... The EX skill is cool, but personally I don't think the stats are really worth it. Alright, let's check the legs. Again, technique, yep. 20% chance no recoil. Cool. Cool. Okay. Personally, I don't think it's too useful, but it's still neat. Armed aura. Okay. Ooh, your squad. It's not just you, it's your entire squad. So that could be very convenient. And again, it's delegated to the backpack for whatever reason. So why? Please, start putting these on other parts. God. Anyways, yeah. I say it's a pretty cool skill. Removing flinching is always very useful, especially if you're going to use melee attacks, because one of the biggest issues you'll have is when you get close range. If the enemy starts shooting you or they hit back, you'll flinch. If you can remove that, you can just interrupt them. It would just suck if both people used, no flinch, like both sides, then you just have everyone wailing on each other without flinching. That'd be awkward. So that's cool. The beam glaive, yep. Jump high, lower beam resist, A minus, D. Okay. Not bad, not bad. I like that actually. Okay. And the last one, the Shenlong shield. Yeah, and the shield throw. Okay. A and D. Okay, so looking at the Shenlong, if I were to recommend parts to look at when you're rolling this, the beam blade looks really good. The aura on the backpack looks nice if you need no flinching because you have melee type or you just lack a good backpack. And the other parts all suffer from the same issue that the Deathscythe had, where they don't excel in a very specific stat like melee or shot or anything. They're very rounded out, which isn't bad, don't get me wrong. Just my personal opinion is when you're building machines, you should try to specialize in shot or melee because you do need to do damage. And you do need to get your numbers high up for that, unfortunately. If you haven't noticed trying to do the EX missions yet, like the one from Covert Jabber or anything, if your stats weren't high enough, you'd hit like a wet noodle. And yeah. So, just something to keep in mind when you're getting these parts is they're not bad for a natural 4-star. They're very well rounded out and they give a diverse stat pool, but the stats are just, they're very rounded out, nothing specialized. Anyways, for the Shenlong, like I said, the glaive, the backpack, so beam saber, I guess, backpack, and I'm not sure really what to say about the chest because, again, it requires technique, and as I've said before, I do like looking at machines as neutral because it's very rare to actually get all the parts of a machine, and for newer players that tend to worry about re-rolling and things like that, you're either going to get all the parts of a machine or you're not, and chances of you being able to build a technique or a speed or a power attributed machine is not that high, especially with all good parts. So, individually, this trait I don't think is very useful at all, so I'm going to say the legs. Actually, what are the stats on the legs? Okay, yeah, same as everything else. So the legs, I'd say don't even worry about. The head, I'd say don't even worry about. The arms are not bad because of the EX skill, but they lack the focus stat distribution that other 4-star parts may have. The chest has a, really high armor value, but it doesn't specialize in anything particular, right? Again, rounded out. The AX skill does require a technique attribute, so you do need to rely on that. So, beam glaive for sure, backpack for sure, like either of those are amazing to get. And the rest of the parts are kind of I would just put the legs at like the very bottom because to me they don't really bring much to the table compared to everything else. Anyways, lots of word soup. Let's take a look at our pilots. Or look at you, Laz, Jesus. Alright, so Flit Asuno. Power tribute, Puffy. Ooh. Okay, so whenever you see duration of a skill, what this will do, from my understanding of reading it, it increases the duration. So if you have something that has a 50-second duration, you're boosting it by whatever percent Flit here has. This can be very useful depending on the type of buff, the cooldown, initial cooldown and things like that. If, let's say, you had a awakening, let's say it was, not Zeta's, like this is Dragon Gundam's Awakening, okay? And you used it. Instead of only having, I think it's like a 40-something odd second uptime, it would push itself up to, more or less 44, 45 seconds or so. Which is really nice when you think about it, because that means the cooldown time, or I guess downtime is the best way to put it, would only be a couple of seconds. It doesn't seem like much on paper, but if it's a prolonged fight, like let's say it's a 4-5 wave fight, you can effectively have that EX skill up the whole time. Because as soon as it comes off, cooldown, you use it. And because the duration's been extended, you can just keep chaining it over and over and over again, so you're always in that uptime state. Again, it really depends on the buff, it really depends on your playstyle, depends on what you're fighting. It's a niche ability. I like it though. It sounds really cool. Not gonna roll for it though, because I don't like the pilot at all. But if you got him, it doesn't seem too bad. All of his stats are unfortunately rounded out though, which is kind of And, yeah. Not bad, I guess. Yeah. Anyways. Moving on. Carry Yamato speed. Why am I not surprised? Okay. So his stats are a little more focused here, as you can see, compared to Flit. He's more in the shot range. And he does seem to be mid-shooter. I got into a conversation with someone in the Gunpla Warfare Discord, actually, about Kira specifically. And he actually did call the mid-shooter. I thought he'd be an outfighter because, at least when I recall Gundam Seed, I always think about the Strike Gundam as more of a mix between range and melee. Like, he was in there, but not always in there. But he never stayed really far away the whole time either. So it was more of a balance between the two. But I guess because Ale Strike is the only machine we have, and that's definitely kitted more towards the mid-shooter, I guess it makes sense. EX recovery boosted by 140. Now, I'm curious if that means the cooldown reduction? I don't think it is. I think that just means like a heal. Now, if it is meaning heal, that's really useful on something like, is it the Blitz? No, we recently... Yeah, no. The Blitz had the percent. It was a pilot that had the ticks, right? So this wouldn't be useful on it at all. I don't really think that's that useful at all. It's a neat sounding ability, and it can be really flexible, but I don't think that it's actually that good in practice. Stats aren't bad, but the trait leaves something to be desired. And obviously, yeah, it requires a speed attribute, so... I don't know. I'd say between the two of them, Flit is objectively better because he at least has like a very universal trait. Kira lacks it, unfortunately. Neither are bad, but yeah, no, I recommend between the two of them getting Flit if you're going to go for pilots at all. And I'm actually curious. Let's go back and take a look at some of these other guys here, because yeah, Seabook has a way higher spread. Bernard is super balanced. Ko is more armor oriented. Char is rounded out. Yeah. So based on averages here, it seems that Kira has a good stat distribution if you use beam weapons and ranged. Other than that, though, not really too useful. So if you do use beam rifles and that, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not going to rate them, because like I've said before, it would take way too much to just always be reworking a tier list every single time with weekly patches and content updates. Yeah, that kind of covers the event. I'm not going to roll the gacha or anything, I'm just going to use the tall geese from the last event, because, yeah, I need to just start saving all of my Haro chips. With all this content being added, it's only a matter of time before something I want comes out. So, anyways, I'll wrap this video up here. Not going to waste any more of your time with rambling. Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to do the next video. Probably not too long from now. Anyways, peace out. See you next time.